What do a fierce red devil, a mythical liverbird, and a medieval prison tower all have in common? They're hidden in the logos of some of England's biggest football clubs, and each one tells a story you won't believe. From cannons that roar history to cockerels standing tall, and even a logo so hated that fans forced the club to scrap it after just one day. These logos are way more than just symbols on a shirt. Stick around because we're breaking down the wild stories behind 10 English club logos, and trust me, you'll never look at them the same way again. First up, Manchester United. They have one of the most recognizable logos in world football, but here's the thing, it didn't always have a devil on it. When the club started out as Newton Heath in the late 1800s, they didn't even have a proper logo. It wasn't until they became Manchester United in 1902 that the identity started to take shape. The famous Red Devil came later, in the 1960s. United were nicknamed the Red Devils, a name Sir Matt Busby actually embraced because it sounded more intimidating than the Busby Babes. So when the club redesigned the crest, they made it official. The devil holding a pitchfork right in the middle. The ship at the top is a nod to Manchester's industrial and shipping heritage, and the shield shape is borrowed from the city's official coat of arms. Then, in 1998, the logo got a cleanup. Football Club was quietly removed, and yeah, that one still annoys some fans who felt it was a move toward commercialism. So, United's logo went from city pride to devilish dominance to global brand. And somehow, it still makes sense. Next up, Liverpool. If Manchester United's logo is iconic, Liverpool's is sacred. At the heart of the logo is the liver bird, part eagle, part cormorant, and completely unique to the city. It's been the symbol of Liverpool since the 13th century, and the club has used it in some form since the early 1900s. But what really sets the logo apart are the details. In 1992, to mark the club's 100th anniversary, they added the Shankly gates to the top with the words, "You'll never walk alone." That wasn't just for show, it was a tribute to the fans, the anthem, and everything the club stands for. Then came the two eternal flames, added in memory of the 96 victims of the Hillsborough disaster. Though they were originally placed on either side of the logo, they were later moved outside the crest but remain part of every official design, on kits, training gear, and even the captain's armband. The logo has been tweaked over time, sure, but unlike some clubs, Liverpool never strayed too far from the core. The liverbird, the anthem, and the remembrance. Now let's talk about Arsenal. If there's one logo that screams, "Don't mess with us," it's Arsenal's. Mostly because it's literally got a cannon on it. That cannon's been there since the club's early days, back when they were called Dial Square, working out of the Royal Arsenal in Woolwich. The military roots run deep, so the cannon wasn't just a cool design, it was their whole identity. Over time, the cannon flipped directions, changed styles, and even got way more detailed in the early 2000s. The club also had the Latin motto, Victoria Concordia Crescit, victory through harmony, on earlier crests, which fans still quote to this day. Then came the 2002 rebrand. Arsenal wanted something cleaner, more modern, and yeah, something they could copyright. The new crest dropped the Latin, simplified the cannon, and gave us the bold red and gold look we know now. Some fans didn't love the change, but over time it stuck. Talking about rebranding, the next club had a total glow-up. Chelsea. Chelsea's logo history is basically a fashion makeover from old-school granddad vibes to royal beast energy. When the club was founded in 1905, their first logo featured a Chelsea pensioner, which was a nod to the Royal Hospital Chelsea, home to retired British soldiers. Cool history, but let's be real, it didn't exactly scream fear. Fans even used to call the team the Pensioners. By the 1950s, Chelsea ditched the pensioner and started experimenting with more modern looks. Then in 1953, they introduced the logo that shaped their future, a blue lion holding a staff. That lion came from the coat of arms of the club president at the time, the Earl of Cadogan. Fast forward to 2005, and for the club's 100-year anniversary, Chelsea brought back that classic lion but redesigned it to look bolder, cleaner, and more royal. They even added roses and footballs to give it extra flair. The result was a logo that feels historic, powerful, and very Chelsea. Hey, if you have been enjoying this video as much as I have, hit like, subscribe, and let's continue. Now let's jump to Manchester City and the logo that went full circle. Literally. Manchester City. City's logo journey is basically a full identity crisis that finally got sorted in 2016. Their original crest was based on Manchester's coat of arms, with a golden ship sailing above a red shield. The ship symbolized the city's role in trade and the Manchester Ship Canal. But for a long time, the logo wasn't even on the kits. Then, in 1997, City dropped a wild redesign. A golden eagle, which looked more NFL than Premier League, a star trio at the top, and a Latin motto, Superbia in Prelio, Pride in Battle. Some fans liked it, some hated it, and honestly, it felt like City was trying to be someone else. That all changed in 2016 when the club brought the fans into the redesign process. The result was a return to roots. The new and current logo is a clean circular design, with the ship back at the top, a red Lancashire rose in the center, and 1894, their founding year, stamped proudly. It's modern but classic, local but global. And after all the oil jokes, logo jokes, and everything else, City finally got their identity back. Next up, Tottenham and the most elegant chicken in football history. Tottenham Hotspur. You know a logo is iconic when it's just a bird standing on a ball and everyone still knows exactly who it is. Tottenham's cockerel has been part of the club's identity since the early 1900s. The story goes back to a player nicknamed Harry Hotspur, who the club was named after. The original Hotspur was into cockfighting and wore spurs on his boots. So naturally, Spurs fans embraced the fighting cockerel as their symbol. In 1909, a bronze version of the bird was placed on top of the stadium, and over time, it started popping up on kits and programs. But it wasn't until 2006 that the club went full minimalist. Just the sharp, clean cockerel balanced on a football. It's sleek, it's modern, and it stayed the same through all the drama, the new stadium, new managers, and their most recent win. Spurs might be memed a lot, but you can't lie. That logo is clean. It's got legacy without trying too hard. Next, let's talk about Everton and the little blue tower that caused way more drama than anyone expected. Everton. Everton's logo might look simple at first, but that little tower in the middle packs a punch. That's Prince Rupert's Tower, a 15th century lockup that's been standing in Everton Village for centuries. The tower was added to the logo back in the 1930s, symbolizing the club's deep local roots, like a nod to where it all began. Their famous motto, Nil satis nisi optimum, Latin for nothing but the best is good enough, also makes an appearance. And honestly, it sounds way cooler than most football slogans. Fast forward to 2013, and Everton tried to modernize the logo. They actually removed the motto in a new design, but fans were not having it. The backlash was so loud and fast that the club quickly brought the motto back. Coming up next, West Ham United. If you didn't know, West Ham's logo basically screams, "We're ironworkers and proud of it." The crossed hammers are a direct shout to the club's roots as Thames Ironworks FC, founded in 1895. They represent the tools used by shipbuilders and ironworkers, basically the working-class heart and soul of East London. For a long time, the logo also featured the Boleyn Castle, named after the old Boleyn Ground Stadium. It symbolized strength and history, but in 2016, when West Ham moved to the London Stadium, they dropped the castle and added the word London instead. Some fans loved the update, some weren't so sure, but the hammers remained the star of the show. Through the years, the logo went through tweaks, but the core identity stayed the same. Pride in the club's working-class roots and East London heritage. Now let's move to Leeds United and the logo drama that had fans screaming. Leeds United. Leeds' logo story is one wild ride, and trust me, it's not just a white rose. The White Rose of Yorkshire has been part of their identity forever, symbolizing the county's history. For years, Leeds had a fairly classic logo with the rose and the initials LUFC. But then in 2018, the club tried a bold redesign. A minimalist, modern logo with sharp angles and a weird Leeds salute shape. Fans absolutely hated it. The backlash was so intense that the club ditched the new logo after just 24 hours. Yeah, one day. So, Leeds went back to the drawing board and returned to a more traditional, classic logo that fans actually loved. It's a perfect example of how a club's logo isn't just about looking cool, it's mostly about identity, history, and most importantly, what the fans want. Next, we're heading to the northeast for Newcastle United. Newcastle United. Newcastle's logo is basically a love letter to the city itself, and it's got everything: castles, ships, and even a pair of seahorses. The two castles in the center represent the famous Newcastle Castle that gave the city its name, while the ships underneath symbolize Newcastle's long history as a bustling port and shipbuilding hub. But the real stars of the logo are the seahorses flanking the shield. These are not your everyday football logo animals, right? They represent Newcastle's strong ties to the sea, kind of like mythical guardians of the club. The black and white stripes on the crest match the famous team colors, keeping it classic and instantly recognizable. The logo has evolved over the years, but it's always stayed true to the city's heritage. And there you have it. 10 English clubs, each with a logo full of history, pride, and stories that go way beyond just a logo. Which one surprised you the most? Drop your favorite logo story or any other cool football logos in the comments, and let's get the convo going. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more of these amazing football stories coming your way.